Hey, everyone, and welcome to Real Life Real Crime Daily for Monday, June 5th, and I'm Jim Chapman.
And I'm Woody Overton.
And I'm Mike Agovino. Hey, guys.
What's up? Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Happy first weekend of June.
And first Monday of June.
First weekend in the castle.
And the
RLRC, Real Life Real Castle.
Hey,
Did they start digging the moat yet?
On a serious note, today, all these, what is it, like 80 years ago now? Just think about this. On this day, way back when in World War II, there were, 50 or 100,000 soldiers in England preparing to cross the Channel.
They were on the way.
For D-Day, which is tomorrow, June 6th.
Yeah.
Right? The greatest generation.
Kids.
Yeah, kids.
Totally.
Right. All right. So
how much does it cost to get like an 8 or 10 foot alligator? I don't know. What size are the gators you're going to put in the moat?
I eat gators. I don't keep them as pets.
Oh, so you won't stock it with gators? Well, what's going to keep people from swimming across the moat?
I'm going to have you over there naked.
That's going to keep people from coming, period.
Kim Potter, the former Brooklyn Center police officer convicted of killing Daunte Wright, a 20-year-old black man shot during a traffic stop, was released from a Minnesota correctional facility Monday. Former Minnesota officer Kimberly Potter has been released from prison after serving 16 months of a 2-year sentence in the fatal shooting of Daunte Wright, whom she shot after mistaking her gun for a taser during a traffic stop in Brooklyn. Y'all just remember this case, and they had the video and everything else.
Absolutely.
She was reaching for her taser, and she accidentally drew her weapon. It was a horrible case.
And she was distraught in the moment. It all hit her. She said, "I'm going to go to prison."
Right, and she was right. And it doesn't excuse it. I hate it for police officers who aren't making hardly anything, putting their life on the line every day, including incidents like this. But that's just, you got to own your mistakes, right? Potter was convicted of first and second degree manslaughter in April 11, 2021 incident. She had pleaded not guilty to both charges. She was sentenced last year to 24 months and a fine of $1,000. Wright was pulled over for an expired registration tab, we call it an inspection sticker, and a hanging air freshener in the rearview mirror. Potter then determined Wright had an outstanding warrant for a gross misdemeanor weapons charge and tried to detain him. And that's when the incident happened, y'all. As officers were arresting Wright, he escaped the officer's grip and was scuffling with them, and when he was shot by Potter. Her attorney said she meant to grab her stun gun, which she did. It was obviously on the video. Y'all could hear that. So Wright, who was in the driver's seat when he was shot, then drove away before crashing into another car. So anyway, she was ordered to serve 16 months, and
she was ordered 24, right?
Right.
Served 16.
She served 16 months and is out on 8 months supervised release. So,
and I think this is a good example of how important repetitive training is in not only, obviously in police departments, but not only as it relates to what you do in certain situations, but something like that becomes muscle memory.
It does.
It's like a golf swing.
Absolutely. But at the time she was fearing for life. And, the judge, Regina Hsu, actually said, or called this case one of the saddest cases I've had in my 20 years on the bench.
It really was.
I agree with that.
And I remember watching that video, and I mean, it was obviously she's full of regret. She'll never forgive herself for this, I'm sure. Yeah. It was totally accidental. She did not intend to shoot this individual. She intended to stun them. Right. But it is, you go in that autopilot, right, Woody?
Yeah.
In those situations, stressful situations like that.
I don't know, man. I mean, I didn't have tasers. They had just came out when I was in uniform patrol. I know.
You didn't taser everybody.
I know. But hey, we had use of force reports that you had to fill out every time you used force, like freeze or whatever.
Yeah.
And my supervisor, when I was in uniform patrol, she just gave me a blank one. He signed it and ran out 0 copies. because I was using force every night, not in a bad way. And I used to train the young guys. You don't have to go out of your way to be an asshole and put your hands on somebody, because there's enough legitimate assholes like this guy was being before he got killed. He was fighting with him, right? And then, but she still was negligent in doing that.
Absolutely. I was just wondering if you had any thought. Okay, boom. I thought you were going to say something regarding.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. Boom. So we're going to move to I would just call this a bizarre, interesting case out of South Carolina.
South Carolina.
A man has been arrested
after Murdaugh, is it?
No, it's not.
A man was arrested.
Surprisingly, it's not someone with the last name Murdaugh. But
I did not kill Pawpaw.
Right.
He did not kill Pawpaw, or
I would never hurt Maggie.
Okay, so a South Carolina man has been arrested after he robbed a store using a spray painted. Y'all get this. Listen up now. Nintendo Duck Hunt game pistol.
There you go.
Yes. David Joseph Del Sandro, 25, was quickly apprehended after he presented a gun and robbed the Sharon Quick Stop convenience store. The incident took place on May 30th when witnesses tell police a person came in the store wearing a mask, a wig, and a hoodie sweatshirt. The person showed the clerk the fake gun in the waistband of his pants and demanded money from the cash register. Of course, the clerk complied and gave him $300 cash. Deputies located him in the parking lot of the Dollar G down the street.
All right. I went to Dollar G last night.
They found the duck hunt pistol in his pants, and he was arrested and booked into the county detention center. And how about that?
You know what?
Duck hunt, baby.
He wasn't hard to find. It wasn't because of the duck hunting pistol, because I saw the picture of him. He had blue hair.
Blue hair.
I mean, like,
we're going to post that picture on Facebook.
It's the white dude with blue hair.
Yeah. Yeah, with a freaking duck hunt pistol.
Duck hunt.
Okay, you know what? I gotta call up.
Go ahead.
5-yard penalty on Jim on this.
Uh-oh.
This story needed banjos. This guy's a moron.
It would qualify.
This is a banjo story.
You're right.
Well, I wanted to tell
Jim
it. It was
scooped
so funny.
it for himself.
That's good,
because he
told it well.
Well, and he knows what a duck. Hey, I have no idea what that is. What does that look like?
Mike, you look. So I'm a professional.
Totally fake.
It's like a little plastic thing.
He had to spray paint it. Yeah, that's crazy.
It's just it's like a Buck Rogers pistol.
Hey, Jimmy, you know, I have hundreds of thousands of hours of interview and interrogation, and body language and everything is what I do. And Mike is over there, shoulder slumped. He's like really seriously distressed he didn't get to do this story on banjo.
Well, I mean, it's
really hurting. We're going to hear about this shit right here.
That guy is so lucky that the person behind the counter didn't go, nice Nintendo gun,
right?
Just
or
blow him away.
The story we told on last Friday, the guy with 4 water bottles.
Even more disturbing, though, Woody, is the fact that Mike didn't know what a duck hunt gun was. How the hell you don't know what a duck hunt gun is?
Guys, I could never kill a ducky.
Oh, my God. Duck sausage?
Oh, my God. Kill a ducky. I couldn't. I've never even
duck,
I don't think I've ever
breast
eaten
wrapped with cream cheese and bacon
delicious.
and jalapenos.
I just think they're cute.
We're going to school you.
I ride around that park and I just see duck.
You just take the duck
after duck.
You take
and the mothers
duck,
cross the road and the
breast out the duck,
babies behind them.
You take it, the fillet of the breast, and you put the cream cheese and jalapenos in the middle and wrap it up with bacon, and you take 2 fish and put it through it and put it on your Traeger.
Okay.
And
I need to ask you a question.
As soon as the bacon is done, the
I need to ask you a question because I need to find out if you're going to heaven or you're going to hell. Right. You're on a duck hunt. Mm-hmm. There's a duck, and there's like 6 little ducklings behind her. Mm-hmm. She's right there for you to. Do you off mama?
Let me educate
tell me you don't orphan any.
Let me
ducklings.
educate you. Okay, you don't shoot ducks that are walking; they're flying.
I mean swimming.
You don't shoot ducks that are swimming.
Oh, you're not allowed to shoot them when they're swimming.
I mean, you could.
They don't fly that much.
Yeah, they do. The duck hunting is about shooting them in the air.
Well, how do you get them to fly? Most of the time they're just
This is
swimming in a pond.
the Southern Flyway. We know you from New York and California. You don't understand
fly
about
over
it.
Southern
all
Flyway.
the
This is
time.
an interstate for ducks.
This is an
aerial interstate
It really
for ducks.
is. It's called the Southern Flyway. Look it up. They fly from
rest areas,
Canada
they've got-
when it gets cold as fuck up there, and they fly straight down this. This is called the Southern Flyway.
Yeah.
The Southern Flyway.
Put out
I'm
your
gonna look
decoys,
that up.
get
I'm
your
gonna look
duck call
Hey, I
out.
was sitting in a duck blind one time. I think it was Spencer Callahan. And I was down in the blind, and I heard doop, doop, doop. It sounded like a Huey UH-1B. When I was in the Army, that's helicopters we used before they had Black Hawks. It literally sounded like helicopters coming in. And I was like, what the hell are the helicopters coming for? He said, look up. And looked up. The sky was black with geese. It was like thousands of them. But it's a big problem down here, too, because they eat all the rice and shit in the field. So,
Yeah.
But anyway.
But you don't do those Canadian geese. You don't kill, do you?
Fuck yeah, you can.
You eat those things?
Man, dude, Cajuns eat crabs and oysters and crawfish.
Well, crabs, oysters, and crawfish are delicious.
Wait a minute. How hungry did the first person have to be to eat those? It's much easier to shoot a bird out the sky, even with a bow and arrow. People do that. They hunt with bow and arrows.
Forgive Mike's ignorance.
Yep. Well, that's
Yankee.
okay. Stay with us.
Yankee.
I don't even know if it qualifies you Yankee. What do you call a Yankee and a Californian?
Oh, gosh.
Mike Agovino.
A mutt.
Speaking of California,
All right, let's do it.
let's have a segue. The latest in a long line of brilliant, and I mean brilliant maneuvers by that DA Gascon out there in Los Angeles, who goes by the motto. This is their official. I mean, this is the official
It's
2023
it's
motto.
hooey.
It's if it's stupid, let's do it. The Los Angeles County government is handing out free pipes for smoking crack, meth, and opioids as part of its effort to reduce
Is this fake news?
drug overdoses. The pipes are being handed out along with clean needles and other supplies as part of the county's, quote, harm reduction effort, which also includes supplies aimed at avoiding and reversing overdoses. The effort's being met with some opposition, as you might expect.
They've been doing the needles, but I don't understand the crack pipes.
Well, Manuel Campito, who runs a cleanup organization on Skid Row in L.A., compared crack pipe giveaways to assisted suicide. He said, I wouldn't get pipes to give out myself. He's a recovered addict. He said, you know, Dr. Kevorkian assisted suicide. That's pretty much what this is. Harm reduction efforts aim to reduce dangers in drug use, such as prevalence of fentanyl, rather than reducing drug use itself. And so basically they've determined if we give them clean needles and we give them all the equipment, maybe they're less likely to do fentanyl. I mean, just unbelievable.
That doesn't make any sense, but the needles thing has been going on forever. This is the first time I ever heard about crack pipes. Trivia questions. Jim, don't say it. Give me 2 street names for crack pipes other than crack pipes. If I roll up on you and I'll pull you over and you put your hands in your pocket and I get a little nervous, and not nervous, I'm going to be like, take your hands out of your pocket, you automatically, usually when you hold dope, you can put your hands back in your pocket, and I'm going to say, well, officer safety, put your hands on the hood of the car, and I'm pat for frisk, officer safety, and I find your crack pipe. What am I going to say when I grab it? Or what am I asking?
You know, I have to admit, my lingo on crack pipes is lacking.
For you, I would say automatically, and when I pat frisk, I say, oh, what is this, your glass dick?
I would say, no, I'm just happy to see you, officer.
Glass dick, a horn, any numerous names. That's why they don't even call it.
Oh, an
crack
official
pipes.
name for it is a glass dick.
Yeah. When the lips are burned, say, you've been sucking on that glass dick. Because it gets hot.
Glass anaconda, yeah.
Or the lighters, the back of the lighters are ripped off. So when they press it down, the metal part doesn't burn their fingers. And they go,
God. Yeah. I'm glad I didn't know the answer to that question.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were finished with that stupid ass story. You just doing more.
No, well, I'll cut it off after I give you a couple of stats. How's that?
All right.
Believe it or not, L.A. County has increased its, quote, harm reduction budget from $5.4 million a year to now they're going to spend $31.5 million a year.
Give me 10% of that.
As in recent years, homelessness deaths have spiked, largely due to the prevalence of fentanyl. So their idea is to throw an extra $26 million at this problem to help keep the homeless alive and allow them to smoke their crack and their meth more safely.
That makes no sense.
More than half.
If the drug's got fentanyl, you're still putting it in the glass dick, and you're going to suck it.
More than half of the nearly 1,500 homeless people who overdosed on drugs in 2020 and 2021 tested positive for fentanyl.
But it doesn't matter.
My former home is falling apart.
A young kid, I say a young kid, a 24-year-old who was best friends with my daughter, died just a couple of weeks ago. He's been in my bar at headquarters. And,
I remember when that happened.
And he died from fentanyl, fake Xanax laced with fentanyl, right? My son told me yesterday that 3 of his friends, 2 females and 1 guy, all college students, all OD'd the other day on fentanyl, and they thought they were taking something else.
Wow.
They live?
Yeah, they did live. So they ought to give out fucking Narcan instead of glass dicks.
Should be in every dorm hallway.
Right.
It should be.
It's crazy.
Hey, y'all, let me tell you about Gobble. All Gobble meal kits are pre-prepped. That means less work for you and less waste in your kitchen. Their meal kits include everything you need so you can save time at the store or just skip that trip entirely. I got the box in and I had 3 different meals. I had a Kung Pao chicken, crispy fish tacos, and a beef bourguignon, however you say it. But let me tell you about the classic beef bourguignon. Look, it came with beef pot roast and a beef broth concentrate, red wine demi-glace, cremini mushrooms, cipollone onions, mashed potatoes, baby carrots, and rosemary thyme butter. It was so easy to make. Literally like 15 minutes it took Cindy. And let me tell you something, and all the dishes were fire, but this thing was like a taste explosion in my mouth. It's just unreal. We've got to spend more time together and more time doing the things we love because everything came in this one single box right to my door. So see what a difference Gobble will make for your household. Right now, they're offering my listeners a fantastic limited time deal. You get $120 off across 4 boxes plus free shipping and free cookies. And let me tell you, those cookies, I ate one that was sin-baked and it was delicious. Go to gobble.com/reallife. That's GOBBLE.com/real-life for $120 off your first 4 boxes. This offer is not available on the home site, so don't miss out. This is genius. It's taste explosions in your mouth like you never had. Spark something uncommon this holiday with just the right gift from Uncommon Goods. The busy holiday season is here, and Uncommon Goods makes it less stressful with incredible hand-picked gifts for everyone on your list, all in one spot. Gifts to spark joy, wonder, delight, and that's exactly what I wanted feeling. Hey, y'all, I ordered a super cool piece. It's a candle with a sculpture of LSU's Tiger Stadium on top of it. And each officially licensed laser cut wooden replica features up to 4 layers of detail, creating a bird's eye view of a specific football field, seating section, and more. And every label includes your stadium's name, the team's logo, and school location. And it has a coconut, soy, vegan wax infused with sandalwood smell that creates tailgates and touchdown scent profile, reminiscent of game day. It's invigorating like fresh cut grass and nostalgic like smoke from a pre-game grill, and calming like the crisp autumn air of a new semester on campus. Y'all, I love it. I have it at the base of my TV, and I'm ready to watch the Tigers play on Saturday night, right? Uncommon Goods. Look, when you shop at Uncommon Goods, you're supporting artists and small independent businesses. And many of their handcrafted products are made in small batches. So shop now before they sell out this holiday season. Uncommon Goods looks for products that are high quality, unique, and often handmade or made in the U.S. They have the most meaningful out of the ordinary gifts anywhere. They even have gifts you can personalize. From holiday host and hostess gift to the coolest finds for kids to hits for everyone from the book lovers to diehard sports fans. Uncommon Goods has something for everyone, not the same old selections you can just find anywhere. And with every purchase you make at Uncommon Goods, they give $1 to a nonprofit partner of your choice. They've donated more than $3 million to date. So to get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/RLRC. That's uncommongoods.com/RLRC for 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods, we're all out of the ordinary.
I don't even understand it. And here we are. Florida police have identified a murder victim known as Trunk Lady after officers found her remains in a black steamer trunk in a wooded area of St. Petersburg on Halloween.
Oh my God.
In 1969, Jim Chapman.
1969.
St. Petersburg police on Tuesday. Jim wasn't even itching his daddy's pants.
Miracle Mets.
It's 5 years away from
St. Petersburg police on Tuesday named Sylvia June Atherin, a mother of 5 from Tucson, Arizona, as the Trunk Lady. 53 years after they discovered her body partially clothed in a pajama top and wrapped in plastic bags inside a trunk. I wouldn't think plastic bags were that relevant back in 69. Anyway, authorities determined at the time that Atherin had been strangled to death with a man's Western-style bolo tie. Atherin was buried in a grave marked as Jane Doe after officers found her body, and but it was exhumed for testing in 2010. Investigators tried multiple times over the years to test bone and teeth samples for the victims, but they were too degraded. This year, St. Petersburg cold case detective Wally Pavlesky discovered on an original sample of the victim's hair and skin taken during the original autopsy and sent it to a lab in Texas. And St. Petersburg's police said in the press release in April, a DNA profile resulted from the sample, and DNA profiles were obtained from her children to confirm the identity.
Oh my God.
And she was 41 years old when she died, and she had moved from Tucson to Chicago with her husband, Stuart Brown, and 3 of her children prior to her murder. Wow. It's crazy, huh?
Yeah.
53 years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they are going to be digging people up from the 1800s soon because
murder people.
This tech has gotten to
ancestral DNA. You and I might be related.
I'm on Ancestry. Are you on Ancestry?
Yeah.
Okay.
I might be your daddy.
I could be your daddy.
Moving on.
I might have a partial claim to the RLRC.
Look, a Michigan man has allegedly killed his sister, y'all, when both draw guns during a family business dispute.
There you go. I guess one was fast.
That's the way to settle.
So this Michigan man was arrested this month for allegedly killing his half-sister over an apparent business dispute about the company the two co-owned. Zachary Holston III was charged with second-degree murder and felony firearm after he and his sibling got into a confrontation outside their family business. Holston, who was 50, was exiting the workplace when he was approached by the victim along with her husband and daughter in the parking lot. Holston and the victim then got in a verbal dispute. As Holston was getting into the car, 3 family members approached the passenger door where a physical altercation erupted over documents that were subsequently found in the vehicle. At this point, both parties drew their firearms and exchanged gunfire.
Wow.
The woman,
family love, huh?
Yeah, the woman was later found.
Did they go to like 20 paces or something? I mean, was it a...
If she was sitting down, she was definitely at a disadvantage.
The woman was later pronounced dead at the hospital while Holston was not injured in the shootout. The victim was identified as Holston's half-sister, Rita Evans. Holston was CEO of Cath Chemicals.
I was about to ask you what was it?
And Evans was CFO. The soap-making company said in a statement that it is fully cooperating with law enforcement and the investigation. Bond was set at $500,000 cash surety and includes a GPS tether with home confinement, a mental health evaluation, and no contact with the victim's family or business.
That's her
which is kind of weird
right?
because it's his business and his family as well.
Right.
So
crazy.
Yeah, I mean, look, you got to be careful who you go. You know, you really got to trust people you go into business with. Period.
Yeah.
But then when it's family, it can either be really good or really bad.
Right.
I know some family businesses that have been destroyed. The family aspect.
You ever shoot anyone in your family, Jim?
Never shot anyone in my family. No.
I'm trying to think about
a relative, distant relative.
I've had
Nobody
several want to shoot me. But
working with your family, some motherfucker.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you know, because it's.
Not
I
recommended.
mean, I love my wife, and she does a great job.
You got to have a strong
Like,
relationship.
but it's tough when you work together, and basically it seems it's all that we do. But
Right.
we're
Well,
not-
there's
we're not gonna
no
shoot
there's
each other.
no time. You know, you're around each other to the point that it's always work.
Well, and just ad lib this real quick. My daughter's birthday dinner, and I think I might have told y'all this story before. I was late to the dinner, and they're all sitting at the table in this restaurant. I walk in and I sit down, and about a couple minutes later, they all bust out laughing. I'm like, "What the hell y'all laughing at?" They said we took bets on how long it'd take you before you started talking about business, and it didn't take like 2 minutes.
Yeah, my wife and I actually worked together
So you
at,
get it, yeah.
at a point in time, and I was not her direct boss, but I was a boss,
Right.
and she would at times be in meetings that I was leading, and I could look down the conference room table or in the
You know
audience
your ass is in
and see
trouble,
her
yeah.
looking at me with that, fuck you
Yeah.
face,
Yeah.
and it just.
But
After a point in time, she just said,
Yeah,
I need to move somewhere else so we don't kill each other.
props out to my wife and my daughter that works for us now. But I mean, my wife does everything, and she's that I can't do, right? And but it doesn't make it any easier, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Well, guys, shout out to the nurses,
Yes, I have nurses,
Shout out.
and
Shout out to
teachers,
the nurses.
law enforcement, firemen,
but
my
particularly the
favorites.
nurses.
Yeah,
But in a profession with so much good, there's always a bad egg.
oh
or
well,
two
any profession.
out there. We're going to talk about a nurse in Pennsylvania who I think by the end of the story, you guys are going to say might be one of the bad ones. She's now a former registered nurse because she was arrested this month on homicide charges in the state of Pennsylvania. Her name is Heather Presti. And Woody,
I'm not even
Woody.
touching that
Oh
one,
no,
yes.
Woody! Come on, Woody, Jim.
Not touching it.
I'm sorry, Heather. That's not fair of them to do that. Heather is from Natrona Heights. She's accused of having prescribed excessive amounts of insulin to patients, ultimately killing 2 patients and hospitalizing a third. She's 40 years old. She was arraigned on 2 counts of homicide, 1 count of attempted murder, 1 count of aggravated assault, 3 counts of neglect of a care-dependent person, and 3 counts of reckless endangerment. It's unclear if Presti has entered a plea yet to those charges or retained an attorney. She's being held at Butler County Prison without bail and is expected back in court tomorrow, June 6th. Presti worked as a registered nurse at a place called Quality Life Services. Quality Life Services.
Right.
A skilled nursing, it's supposed to be a skilled nursing facility in Chicora, which I've never heard of Chicora, Pennsylvania. And she worked there from May of 2022 until November of 2022. So she only lasted 5 months.
Right.
Or thereabouts, during which time prosecutors claim she gave 3 different patients too much insulin, resulting in hypoglycemia, low blood sugar, according to a criminal complaint. According to the complaint, a 55-year-old man died, an 83-year-old man died, and after receiving lethal doses of insulin while under Presti's care. A third alleged victim, who was 73, survived after emergency hospitalization. The allegations in the case outline the callous abuse of incredibly vulnerable patients by a professional nurse, the Pennsylvania Attorney General said in a release. As the charges indicate, these were deliberate and intentional acts perpetrated by a caregiver who was trusted to care for these victims. What I found kind of incredible was that Presti had been, since 2018, she had worked for 11 different facilities.
Yeah.
So 5-year period, really
the buck.
4-year period,
Yeah, that's a broad
11
pass the
different
buck.
facilities. So she never lasted long anywhere. And authorities claim they, quote, identified a pattern of Presti being disciplined for abusive behavior towards patients and or staff at each facility, resulting in her resigning or being terminated. How does the process of hiring in the nursing field not identify people like this? I mean, to be able to get 11 positions over that 4-year period, keep getting rehired, it's ridiculous.
It happens. I've seen cops get in trouble and they let them resign instead of whatever and give them good recommendations so they go down the road. But
and in her defense, I mean, in her heart, I think each of these were cases
there's
where...
no fucking defense for her.
No, but in each of these cases were cases where...
She gives nurses bad names.
You know, she decided that that the patient would be better served to be dead.
So she's God. Yeah.
She played God.
Yeah, that's...
And actually, you wouldn't believe how often it happens. I used to have the contract with the Louisiana Physician Examiner Board and the Nursing Board, and I polygraphed their doctors and nurses that got put on probation, and they had to test with me every 90 days, make sure they weren't violating terms of probation, and you wouldn't believe the shit some people do. But that is in every profession. Every single profession. I love my nurses, and I mean, when I was in the hospital for so long, there was this one lady who was a real bitch, and I'm like, if you don't you hate your job so much, you'll get another fucking job. I'm sick, right? But the rest of them are angels. So, but that's in every profession.
Look, I'm married to one.
We're definitely, and we love Wendy too. We're definitely not throwing any shade on nurses.
Bedside manner goes a long way.
Exactly, that's right.
As they say.
We love our nurses.
Yeah. So... horrible chick right there.
This story is disturbing. An Arizona mother has pleaded guilty to child abuse and murder charges this month after her son starved to death in 2020 when she locked him in a closet and denied him food. Elizabeth Archibald reached a plea agreement with prosecutors and will be sentenced over the summer after her 6-year-old son, Deshaun Martinez, died of starvation. He weighed 18 pounds at the time of his death. The boy's father, Anthony Martinez, and his grandmother had all been charged with first-degree murder, kidnapping, and child abuse. The 3 cases were being tried separately. Both Anthony and Ann have previously pled not guilty. They're not going to plead guilty to the death penalty. And Archibald will not be eligible for probation if she is sentenced to life in prison. She will also not be eligible for parole or work release. The boy was initially found unresponsive in the family's Flagstaff apartment and died at a hospital where the coroner ultimately determined that he died of starvation. Arrest records at the time alleged that Deshaun and his 7-year-old brother were kept in a closet for about 16 hours a day. That's just crazy. When the authorities responded, Deshaun was laying unresponsive and his sibling was still in the closet. The parents allegedly told authorities that the pair would steal food at night and that Deshaun was dealing with a medical condition and allegedly, fuck that, I'm not even giving them the parents' defense on this bullshit. That's just bullshit. You starve your kids, you lock them in a closet, murder by you.
Well, 16, I mean, the kids were school age, right?
Yeah, but I mean,
they weren't going to school?
Apparently
they must not have been if they were
There's,
locking them up 16 hours a day.
According to the autopsy, Deshaun was 34 pounds at age 4, but only weighed 18 pounds when he died.
Jesus Christ, man.
Now, you know what? I take back my earlier statement or previous show statements about fire deaths. That would be the worst way to go. And they had a case here in Louisiana from where I'm from, basically the same parish. The parents, and these were good people. We thought they were good people. They had a handicapped older daughter, and they left her on the couch. And by the time this was discovered, she literally starved to death and melted into the couch. Yeah.
Yep.
And I think starvation would be the worst way to go. Ugh. I don't know. Fire's pretty bad too, but starvation takes longer. Yeah. Murder by you.
Period.
And then they get to prison, they're going to kill him anyway.
A Baton Rouge man is behind bars after an investigation into the theft of a vehicle on Memorial Day. Andrew Davis, who is 19 of Baton Rouge, is one of 6 people accused of taking part in an armed robbery around 5 o'clock p.m. on Memorial Day. The armed robbery happened at the intersection of Skysail Avenue and Port Drive in Baton Rouge. A member of the EBR Sheriff's Office spoke with the person whose vehicle was allegedly taken. The victim stated he was held at gunpoint by 6 males. The victim handed over a cell phone and wallet before he was punched and kicked. The investigator was told by the victim that all the suspects had guns and none of them were wearing masks. And as the investigation unfolded, 4 suspects were finally taken into custody. The victim identified those 4 in lineups as participants. 3 of the 4 suspects were juveniles. They were charged in custodial agreements and processed. Deputies say the juvenile detention center could not take in the suspects since the facility was at capacity.
Yeah, that's been a problem.
Davis was the 4th suspect, and he admitted that he was present for the robbery and did confess to kicking the victim. He claimed the victim owed money to one of the men, and he was booked into the EBR Parish Prison in charge with armed robbery. A bond has not been set.
Crazy. 99 years.
And it's these kids, man.
Yeah.
These kids, it seems like they're getting younger and younger doing this dumb shit.
Yep.
They are.
There's no respect for life.
No respect for life, no respect for elders.
No respect for anybody's property or anything.
Yeah. Yeah. So
No respect for our military. But
exactly. Just horrible situation, but there's your Baton Rouge news.
Well, it's hard to believe this was 5 years ago, but I'm sure you guys remember the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas high school shooting.
Yep.
Down in Florida. Finally, the case against the school resource officer is coming to trial here, I'm calling this the pussy prosecution. Right. Would he permission to use that? Yeah, pussy prosecution.
No derogatory term you like towards y'all ladies. It's towards the little bitch that hid behind a pole.
So jury selection scheduled to begin in the trial of former resource officer who remained outside the Parkland, Florida high school as a gunman massacred 17 people, marking the rare prosecution of a law enforcement officer over his or her response to a mass shooting.
Or lack of response.
Or lack of response. This guy's name is Scot Peterson. He retired from the Broward County Sheriff's Office as scrutiny of his conduct during the February 2018 shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School mounted. He's pleaded not guilty to 11 charges, including 7 counts of felony child neglect, 3 counts of culpable negligence, and 1 count of perjury in connection with the shooting and statements he made in the aftermath. Peterson, now 60, failed to follow his training by remaining behind a position of cover for at least 45 minutes, prosecutors say, while the 19-year-old shooter roamed the halls of the school's 1,200 building, killing 14 children and 3 staff members and leaving 17 others injured. After Peterson arrived outside the building, prosecutors alleged the gunman fired his weapon some 75 times, killing 6 people and injuring 4. Peterson was widely criticized after authorities revealed he had been armed but stayed outside. You might remember when then President Donald Trump chimed in. I wish I could do a Trump impression, but said, quote, when it came time to get in there and do something, he didn't have the courage or something happened, but he really did a poor job. There's no question about it, end of quote. Peterson has maintained he did nothing wrong. He's claimed in part he didn't enter the building because he didn't know where the gunfire was coming from, which other officers have testified he told them as they arrived, and could not have found and engaged the shooter in time to protect the victims. And his attorneys argue he was not properly equipped to confront the shooter who had an AR-15. There was no duty on the part of Peterson to protect the victims, they wrote. I believe it, that's a quote. There was no duty on the part of Peterson to protect the victims. That's what his defense attorneys say. Prosecutors argue differently, obviously, that if Peterson had spoken to fleeing students about the suspect's description or he had entered the building, he would have seen the dead bodies and he could have helped determine the shooter's whereabouts. The defendant could have called for rescue. heard the shots on the second and third floors, and broadcast the shooter's location, all without actually engaging the shooter in a gunfight, according to prosecutors. The charges against Peterson are unusual, even in a nation that tallies, unfortunately, dozens of shootings, school shootings each year. And this case has been called a first of its kind. While Peterson was a member of law enforcement, prosecutors charged him under a statute applying to caregivers, arguing that as a school resource officer, he had a duty to protect students and teachers, but expose the victims, namely the children under 18, to harm through his inaction. The shooter, Nicholas Cruz, pleaded guilty to 17 counts of murder and 17 counts of attempted murder, and he was sentenced to life in prison last year. And since that point, we have all been waiting for this case to come to trial, and now it finally has.
He's full of shit. I remember when we swapped from doing basically standoffs after Columbine, when we train, everybody's trained now to respond to the threat, to eliminate the threat. This dude damn well had the training. He hid behind the pole. They got him on camera. I remember seeing the video footage. He's squatting down behind the pole. Yeah. He's a bitch.
No. And even in, if you look at the heroism in the Nashville case,
even the principal.
Even school administrators running toward the sound of the gunfire.
He's a bitch.
Well, let me tell you this, and so Kelly Jennings, who does Unspeakable, actually interviewed Max Shackner. And Max Shackner is pretty much the spokesperson for the victims of this particular shooting at Parkland. And when the subject of Scot Peterson was brought up during this interview that Kelly did, Max Shackner's entire attitude changed to, you could tell he was very emotionally pissed.
Right, he should be
at that guy, and look, he called him every name in the book right there on that podcast, because that guy did nothing. Coward, coward.
Two kinds of cops.
Well, I think
ones that need a badge to feel like a man, like him. But I'm not knocking school resource officers at all. There's a place for them. A lot of my buddies are doing that, and generally, it's when you get tired of working on the street or whatever. I mean, it's pretty. One of my best friends back in the day was a school. He was a dare officer, and but one of the first school resource officers were, and he had multiple schools he took care of. But he got a lot more time for hunting and fishing and shit too. So I'm not knocking it, but sometimes they get placed there. It's like they're
being put out to pasture, so to speak,
and you lose your edge maybe a little bit too,
or you never had the edge, right?
Yeah, that guy right there is a coward.
Sometimes they need a body, and you're certainly never thinking that school shooting was going to happen. And for you listeners out there, I know you're all true crime junkies. This is Scot Peterson. Is not related to Scot Peterson who murdered his wife and baby.
Yeah, but I bet that guy's
happy.
Another
There's
coward. Another guy with his
right.
Yeah, I don't think anybody with the last name Peterson is going to be naming their kid Scott in the years ahead.
Well, hey, ladies, are you feeling overwhelmed by hormonal changes? Well, you're definitely not alone. There are more than 1,000 hormone disruptors living in our environment right now. It's in your food, your water, the air you breathe, the clothes you wear, your skincare products. They all mess with your hormones. Then there's the natural hormone changes your body goes through, premenopause, menopause. And while it's a natural process, it doesn't mean you have to suffer through it. The good news is you don't have to suffer through it anymore, because now you have Hormone Harmony, a formula made only with herbal ingredients that are shown to reduce hormonal symptoms in women of all ages. Hormone Harmony is not just a hormone support and supplement. It's become a phenomenon. Women can't stop talking about it on social media. A bottle of Hormone Harmony is sold every 24 seconds. And the biggest benefit? Well, my wife says it makes her feel like her own self again. And that's what women mention over and over in the reviews. And there are over 30,000 reviews for Hormone Harmony. And for a limited time, you can get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use code RLRC at checkout. That's happymammoth.com and use code RLRC for 15% off today. That's happymammoth.com and use code RLRC.
Well, I'm going to tell you about a buddy of mine. You know, we need a section just for school buses because this happens. Stupid shit happens on school buses all the time. Buddy of mine, Mike Parlow, is about to retire up in Wisconsin this year from driving school buses. Great guy. But in Pennsylvania, Mike Agovino's favorite place, a bus driver, this is going to piss y'all, has been accused of using duct tape to restrain a 10-year-old boy with Down syndrome.
So fucking awful. Right?
Upper Darby school bus driver Juliet Pratt, 54, admitted to the district attorney's office that this was not the first time she had duct taped the boy to his seat.
That's disgusting.
She was arrested and charged with unlawful restraint, false imprisonment, endangering the welfare of a child, and assault. Police were called out after reports, that she had assaulted the kid. And the student who has Down syndrome was already sitting in a district-supplied safety harness, y'all. So that makes it even worse that she duct taped him in. According to the DA, the child was not acting out or causing any issues that would require the bus driver. The child was restrained in a harness on the bus on a special harness. This is a child with Down syndrome and was not doing anything to act up in any way. The driver decided to use duct tape to tape his ankles and to tape across his chest as well. After arriving at the elementary school, Pratt, the bus driver, the idiot, used a seatbelt cutter to remove the tape from the child and threw it into the trash. And they have it on surveillance video, y'all. It showed her wrapping the duct tape around the child's ankles and chest, even as he was sitting in the safety harness. That's just...
Why?
And it just, I don't know. But she said it's not the first time she did it.
And look, that's disgusting. Disgusting. And bus drivers have probably I could not imagine. Look, when my kids were younger, I have two of them in the car. I'm ready to drive off a cliff. It's just,
hey, look, they get enough before the butt crack of dawn in dealing with that, and
right. But that's the type of stuff that's the type of bus drivers you don't want.
Exactly. Another example of any profession can have somebody that's bad. My buddy Mike Parlow, who's about to retire this year from bus driving and maintenance at a school in Wisconsin, he would beat this bitch's ass.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
I'm just bewildered here with why.
You wait till she goes to prison.
What the behavior could have been that would have
led
to her.
Someone that would do that, it didn't take much.
You know how much the safety restraint has to be tested for them to approve that for a child with Down syndrome before they install it? You know that she can't say it was a danger to himself or her. The child's already restrained.
I would just like to hear what her story is with that, because it's just so hard to believe.
Rolling on.
All right, Mile High Crimes.
What?
That's right. It's time for Mile High Crimes.
I mean, now get up and move about the cabin. The smoking sign has been turned off. They don't do that anymore.
So we're going to tell you about a little General Hospital star. General Hospital star was arrested after passing out drunk at a South Carolina airport, and this is his second public intoxication arrest.
This is another.
We just did one last week on General Hospital.
Look, these soap opera
What's going on with General Hospital people?
I'm telling you. Emmy-winning actor Tyler Christopher, 50, best known for his role as Nicholas Cassadine on long-time running soap General Hospital, was found on the floor fast asleep on Friday at the Charleston airport. Cops were alerted to the snoozing soap star and woke him. Christopher told the authorities he had missed his flight before he was handcuffed and booked for public intoxication. The authorities said Christopher displayed clear signs of being intoxicated, and he was unable to care for himself. He was released shortly after his arrest and given a court date. Now, this wasn't the first time this Indiana native, and who else is from Indiana, y'all?
I don't know. Follow basketball. White boy there, Bird.
That's right. That's right. I'm surprised Mike didn't beat Woody the punch on that one now.
Well, we There are many people from Indiana. I didn't know that's where you were going. You were looking for Larry Bird.
Larry Bird. In November 2019, he was arrested for public intoxication in his hometown of Martinsville, forcing him to spend his 47th birthday behind bars. After that incident, an Uber driver had alerted officers to his lewd behavior after he passed out and urinated on himself after being dropped off at his home. In that same month, he was arrested again for being intoxicated and cited for harassing, annoying, and alarming another person. Now, it was not clear if he was drunk or if he had taken a controlled substance during that incident. In 2022, he appeared on the mental health podcast State of Mind with former General Hospital castmate Maurice Bernard, a.k.a. Sonny. During that episode, he spoke openly about his alcohol addiction and his first drink at age 9. Wow. At some point, you can't survive it, he said. At some point, it'll kill you. And it has. 3 times I have flatlined, and nobody knows that. 3 times I have flatlined, and they brought me back. Twice from alcohol poisoning, once from withdrawal. That year, he also shared his journey of recovery and his mental health. He posted on his social media saying he was returning to California to get back to work. So more troubles.
Now he can go back.
General Hospital stars.
He can go back on the podcast and say, and 2 times I was arrested for being passed out during a Mile High crime while trying to get on the airplane.
There you go. But, you know, I didn't know you could actually flatline from withdrawals.
That's news to me, too.
I mean,
maybe they were trying to do something horrible to his character, and that's what set him off.
Yeah,
but
just to tell you real quick, Martinsville, the NASCAR racetrack is in Virginia.
I was actually arrested for public intoxication once. And
I see that in his eyes.
few of us went to a place that probably doesn't exist these days outside of Nashville called Casa Gallardo that served what they called why not margaritas, and they came in like aquariums.
I was going to say, I bet it was a margarita special.
And I don't know how many we had during happy hour, but we had way too many. And we were really obnoxious, and the manager was not happy with us and asked us politely to leave.
Right.
And so we left, and I had a buddy by the name of Arnie Hess in the car with me, and this is White Bridge Road in Nashville. We decided that the first thing we needed to do was buy more alcohol as we left the place. So we stopped at a quick stop that was right down the hill, and as soon as I pulled into the quick stop, I had 2 police cars, one at each side of the back of the car.
You know why?
I had about $40 in my checking account, and I just started shitting bricks. And Arnie is a bit of a character. I mean, a character to this day, a character. And Arnie is so psyched that the 2 of us are going to get arrested. He knows we're going to get arrested, and he is fired up about it, right? Yeah. And so he's doing they called me Ago, and he's going, Ago, this is the greatest. We're going to get arrested again. I'm like, Arnie, none of this is funny. I got $40 in a checking account. I can't call my parents. I'm absolutely effed. Just shut up and do whatever the cop says. So the cop comes, grabs me, and cuffs me, and I'm now in the back of a police car. I can't remember if I took the breathalyzer yet or I take it later, but he's obviously not going to do anything to Arnie.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting back there thinking, shit, this is getting worse. I'm going to have to go through this alone. And then I see Arnie take the cop had thrown he had a leather jacket. He had thrown the leather jacket on the hood of my car when he was messing with me and getting me cuffed. Arnie got out of the car and took the cop's leather jacket.
Oh yeah, it's like punching a horse.
He's doing everything he can do to get arrested, right? So the cop finally sees he's got his leather jacket on. That's it.
Then he probably got his ass whipped too. Yeah.
So Arnie's arrested now too. So and now he's really fired up. The 2 of us are being driven downtown, and it's it's not going to be good. We get to downtown, and they put us in a cell, and the first thing Arnie says to the cop, he's calling Gary. By this time, the car ride, he's become buddies with Gary. He says, Gary, I'd like clean sheets and a wake-up call at 7. He says to the guy, right?
So we're going to call that Mike's crime story.
That's not my crime story. After like 10 minutes, I start asking if I can if I can make a phone call. Right. And Arnie's causing all kinds of trouble. The cop comes over and he's like, look, I'm going to separate you guys if you don't stop. This looks bad. So he separates us. And we finally come together like 45 minutes, an hour later to go in front of the night court judge for the official booking. So
night court,
whatever. So I go up first, and Mr. Agovino, you've been charged with blah, blah, blah. Do you understand the nature of these charges? Yes, Your Honor. Arnie comes up. Mr. Hess, you've been charged with public drunkenness. Blah, blah, blah. Do you understand that? And Arnie says, I have one objection, Your Honor. He puts his arm around the cop. He goes, until Gary pulled me out of Mike's car, I was privately drunk.
I bet the judge will love that.
Believe it or not, the cop ended up loving us, ended up showing up at Friday Kegs at the frat house.
There you go.
And I actually don't officially have a record because Gary didn't show up for whatever hearing he was supposed to show up for. So thanks, Gary, if you're out there.
And there you go, and after all these years, you still get to tell a story, which is love.
That's it.
Yes.
What was it, Aga? It's love.
Y'all remember the TV show Night Court?
Yeah, I also remember that. I remember the public defender.
She lived in my neighborhood in L.A.
Yeah, she
passed away.
I think she was kind of a smoke show.
She was. She died young. She died like 2 years ago.
What was her name?
Yeah.
All I see is a short blonde hair.
Yep. Yep.
It's a very different, very unique
I can
name.
be lookism on that one because that's when I was young.
Yeah.
No,
I remember.
but really sweet lady.
She played in a movie about heroin, Chasing the Dragon or something like that.
Yeah.
When she was a mom, they got addicted to heroin later on in her career.
Really?
Yeah, she showed her boobs.
My wife is going to hate me.
What's the name of that movie? What?
I think it's called Chasing the Dragon.
I'll check it out.
If you had a VCR, you put it on pause on the VCR. Remember that?
Yes.
You had to rewind, pause.
Yes.
Tell them Anaconda.
Kinky Crimes, Woody Overton. It's time to get kinky.
Monday. Oh,
Shoes?
Here we go.
We're talking feet.
I know you are.
Oh,
Go. Clapping.
I'm just surprise y'all with this one. A Kentucky couple, well, at least I hope they're a couple, was arrested last week after allegedly getting it on while standing at the bar at Brew Company Underground in Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Oh, my.
Video of the couple getting freaky quickly made its way to TikTok. I remember we did one of those. Show him the man first with his hand down the back of the woman's pants, and the couple then dropping their pants completely.
What the heck? That's illegal?
You know, right? Bystanders to the bar were clearly shocked. Some asshole so shocked they shot a video of it. But bystanders to the bar were clearly shocked by the scene of the man just standing there bare ass at the bar going to town on his girlfriend.
Yes.
Police arrived a short time later where the owner of the bar said the couple was thrown out for attempting to engage in sex acts. I think based on the video, a little more than an attempt was made. The couple were determined to be under the influence of alcohol, like Mike Agovino in his last story.
Yep.
And ultimately, police arrested Sean Clark, 47, and Stephen Brown, 49, on charges of all kinds of stupid shit. The video of the couple's romantic encounter has been removed from TikTok, but if you want to see it, you can easily find it on Twitter. Just searching for the Bowling Green, but don't say I didn't warn you.
That's right.
Guys,
Well, the thing is, if they were 27 and 29, I might go searching right now. 47 and 49, that's probably pretty sloppy, I'm thinking.
Hey, they got some really good looking 40 and 50-year-olds out in this world, Michael. Your kinky crimes
Anaconda.
But they
Get kinky in the bar room,
Let the
y'all.
Anaconda come out in the bar.
Yes.
Wait, I don't get
Watch
banjos
and listen.
anywhere? What the hell?
You didn't have a dumb crime.
I don't have an episode without banjo. I permission to tell a story.
We did your.
We got you. You already had permission once. We thank y'all and love each and every one of you. And Mike's really pissed off now. But
I took his dumb crime with the hunt gun.
Oh, you had a dumb crime earlier. You had the first. You had something earlier.
He stole my hunt. My
but you
dumb
know what?
criminal.
Can't get it all.
I never
in.
got to hear banjos.
Appreciate, love all of y'all. remember the people that died on D-Day tomorrow.
Absolutely.
And all that good stuff.
And hey,
Eat some HelloFresh this weekend.
please leave us a review if you're so inclined.
Oh, you gotta love it. Even if you're not inclined, it's very entertaining. If you want to go read the 1 stars that come out for Real Life Real Crime since Real Life Real Crime Daily started. They cap on Mike. One the other day capped on you directly. Yeah. They cap on me. We've been called everything from racist to domestic violence lovers to political.
I want everyone to know that it was really cruel of Woody to post that Casey and the Sunshine Band thing and do it under my name so that people are blaming me for that.
I didn't even get to see the video. I went to it the day after, and one of the moderators had taken it off because people were going off about it.
Here's the funny thing.
Bullshit. It's a free speech country, and we should not stop
That's
the audience from
group
telling me whatever,
how
awful I am, whatever.
Friends,
I didn't
fans,
know
and
actually that he had been injured,
It's over 41,000 members now. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Hey, y'all go check us out on the app. Go check us out on Facebook. And it's all love. Love you to death. Thank you so much.
Next time, I'm Jim Chapman.
And I'm Woody Overton.
And I'm Mike Agovino.
For Real Life Real Crime Daily. Peace.
Shabusiness.